Yay, it says I'm actually live and I'm at home. That is super exciting. So hopefully the stream works, even though I'm already seeing some issues that pop up on my screen. Anyways, hopefully you are doing well. It is a beautiful day here at the meeting place of heaven and earth, and I'm really just surprised that I'm able to live stream from home. So I am super excited about that. Last night I went to the fair. It was probably one of the last fairs that I will go to because it's just really hard to be around all of these people that are participating in animal abuse and they just don't care. Literal auctions going on where animal children are being sold to the highest bidder, and these humans just don't see an issue with it. They don't, they don't, they want to talk about human child trafficking while they are doing this absolute evil. It doesn't even make any logical sense. But going vegan definitely turns a key, as they say, and it really changes your perspective. All of these things that you like. I grew up going to fairs. We had some family friends that owned concession stands, so that was like one of my first jobs, was working for these family friends, going to the fair and like making French fries and lemonade. Thankfully that was actually vegan stuff. But I had been around, the fair my entire life and never, now I am like, oh, I want to touch these cows. Like, I want to go and love on these cows. And I can't even walk into the pavilion without starting to cry. Like it just is heartbreaking. It's really sad, especially these 4-H things with children that are, being put in situations where they are raising animals and taking care of them. And then they're required to, that's weird. I don't know how I started getting Facebook notifications on my phone or on my computer. I've never had that before. But anyways, getting these children to bond with these animals and then they have to go and auction them off, like that's a really traumatizing situation. And it's just, obviously I'm not against animal interaction with humans, but it needs to be that the animals are choosing to interact with you, not that you're forcing yourself upon them, like in these situations. Hi Kyle, how's it going? Kyle said blue background piano. Where are you today? I'm actually at home and I have a sheet up there because I am planning on redoing the walls, and so it's not exactly presentable right now. But yeah. Hi Faith, how's it going? David D says that's great. You can stream from home now. I know. I'm super excited. I'm really surprised too because my upload speed is like not even a full megabit per second. So I don't know how this is working, but I'm happy either way. You look great. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I have footage from last night. I've already talked about this. If you watched my streams last night, I was talking about it, during the demolition derby and even afterwards, because it was, the most eventful thing that happened during the fair was, I walked up to these people that were selling rape racks and other, they might be called like chutes or something, holding devices, restricting devices that you put animals in. These are primarily for cows, I believe, but they can be used for, any animal that you want to enslave and force vaccinate and pierce their ears and artificially inseminate them, which is rape. If you're having an encounter with an entity and they end up pregnant, that's a sexual encounter. I mean, even if they don't end up pregnant, the whole thing is a sexual encounter where you're artificially inseminating an animal and they do not consent to it. Like, that's called rape, and farmers even call it a rape rack. So it's kind of like really, like I said, is like these people don't even realize what the evil that they're doing. At one point, I told the guy who actually looked like a rapist, to be quite frank, at least now you know what you're doing is evil so that you can be judged. And you're like, judged by who? And I'm like, God. And they're like, you believe in God? I'm like, you're an idiot if you don't believe in God. And then of course they're like, oh, the Bible was like, oh my gosh, the Bible, yeah. And then that's actually when they basically said the Bible and hopped up to go and run off and find a security guard. It was like, yeah. So it'll be an interesting video. I'll have to do the editing later today, but I have a few things that I have to do. I'm having some car issues and just other general curse energy. It's like we live in a magical reality, and there are entities that, I mean, even if you look at how the human species has been programmed, what we've been programmed to eat, the things that we've been like, we're giving up fake science, fake history, fake everything. Everything is to make us into clowns. And I lost my train of thought, but I was actually trying to talk about the magical nature of our reality, which there's two aspects that I want to talk about. I'm specifically focusing on the darker aspects right now, where these negative entities, demons, if you will, can manifest things against you. Let's say you're super excited, like I was super excited to go to the fair, and then it's like they manifest in car issues, in other types of things along the way to cause irritation and frustration, because they can feast off of that energy. So they're constantly doing different things to mess with us, trying to cause problems like in our relationships. And by relationships, I mean, like, any person that you are connected with, that's a relationship. It doesn't mean it has to be your boyfriend or girlfriend. It's your boss, your coworkers, like all of these people that you are in various relations with. They also are being influenced by demons, and these demons basically will whisper one thing to you and whisper another thing to this person to start a fight or cause conflict. You understand? Like, they're bored and they find entertainment by messing with us. And I mean, that's just how it is. These demons can also, you've probably heard of the ghost in the machine. When you're talking to like Chat GPT, these bots, that the AI bots and stuff. Even I'm looking right now because I have a tab pulled up. I use Midjourney AI for generating artwork. All of these we're told that they're like computer programs, right? But it's not just a physical thing. These demons can come and use this. They can interfere. And like when you're sitting there talking to one of these bots, you're just talking to a demon. They're actually extremely intelligent, but they will go along with the deception, right? They're going to tell you that the earth is a giant spinning ball. And they're also going to tell you, or like on the artwork, for instance, every artwork, no matter how beautiful it looks, like there's always at least some little imperfection, almost as like a middle finger to us for using it. It's like the demon, they'll give you 99% perfect, but no, just one little thing off. And that's if you're lucky. Usually there's a lot of things off. The older generations of these bots, like especially Midjourney, you'll have like, well, it wasn't even an older generation that I just used the other day. And this girl had like 2 elbows and then the rest of her arm. You can generate like 10 fingers on one hand. It's just like the most bizarre thing. And the powers that be have the best technology out there, that they could literally give us artwork that is phenomenal, that's breathtaking, that's awe-inspiring, that's like perfect, but they don't want us to have it. They don't want humans to really have anything that doesn't make us a clown. So everything that they give us is with the intent to corrupt us and to make us into clowns for them to laugh at. We're on this human farm, so all of the media, all of the, Barbie movie comes to mind. All of these different programs, channels are designed with a purpose, and it's not to entertain us, it's to program us. So, Kyle says, can't wait to see those pictures on your wall. Yes, I actually have them right here behind me in the box still for safekeeping. My guitar's back there as well, and a camera. So David D says the ghost of the machine is Satan and his legion of demons. The nature of reality is that the entities in control hate humans. Exactly. Hey, Marcos Fox, how's it going? Computer programs, I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe I didn't say the right thing, so I apologize for that. But yes, David is correct here. The nature of reality is that the entities in control hate humans. They are jealous of us. I've, kind of said this so many times, like a broken record, if you will, but just like in the story Toy Story, when Andy gets a new toy, these old toys get put up on the shelf, and the old toys that are up on the shelf are jealous of the new toys that are getting played with. It's the same thing. There have been different species that were center stage. They had God's focus. Like when God first made dragons, like they were all the rage. They were the ones that were center stage, and I kind of rhymed that unintentionally. But then in the next I don't know how long a certain creation is allowed, or not allowed, but is occupying center stage. I know that humans are the most recent, and that we have been at this for a long time. I'm not really sure what God would create as the next species. If you look back, there's like Nakash, these obligate carnivore snakes, and then going to dragons, these, they're still kind of snake-like, but they have legs now. They can fly, all these different things that we attribute with dragons and different things like that. Well, not all of them. I'm sure there's different species. I'm definitely not a dragon species expert. Okay. But then, dragons, reptilians, they are reptilians, but then humans, there's a different progression over time. And you can also see that like snakes are obligate carnivores, and now the species that God is focused on is supposed to be frugivores. We're supposed to be frolicking around in a perfect Garden of Eden, eating fruit. Like that's not cooked. That's really like, we weren't meant to like chop them up and make salads or anything like this. We're really supposed to be eating like one fruit at a time, and that helps with regulation, your digestion, everything like that. So yeah, these other species over time have, gotten more and more jealous of humans because we're center stage. And also because, well, if you look at humans right now, they have definitely been having an agenda to dumb us down and turn us into clowns over time. But even like the original human, the Jinn, for instance, are looking at this creation of Adam, and they're like, we're superior to that. Like, Jinn can live pretty much forever. They're extremely magically gifted. They're extremely intelligent. They have all of these different qualities that, frankly, God didn't really focus on that with humans. When it comes to humans, we're more trusting and innocent rather than crafty and, this, the Jinn species, these genius species that are not focused so much on innocence in their creation. Basically, people don't want to think about God being like a newbie at creation. But at one point, he, in the way that I believe, is that Sophia created him, and then he started creating things. So there was a specific point in time where he started creating, and it wasn't just like he snapped his fingers and it was like the most awesome, like he was a new beginner. So there's different things, like it's been explained basically in one way, like these Jinn are super huge, and over time things have gotten smaller, kind of been explained like a baby, how first give them Legos that are really big, and then they get older and they get smaller and more intricate Legos. And that's kind of, the Jinn were like all powerful, huge, and like basically no restrictions at all. It was like, what is the cool, like what's the limit? I don't want to say the coolest. I was just saying, what's like the limit, the most powerful being that he could create, and that's what he started with. And now we are where we are. I mean, have you seen a human shapeshift? I haven't. Definitely not a real human for sure. Anyways, Faith says, do you think parents' karma can be passed on to their children? I think that it's definitely an intricate situation with karma, especially because, like, one of the reasons why I'm vegan is because I don't want my child to be taken from me. And if I pay for a mom cow's baby to be separated from her, then I deserve that. So in that scenario, my karma would affect my child because they are suffering for the evil that I personally have done by doing this. They are the ones that get taken. They're the ones that get, put through the system or whatever that the powers that be want to do. So there definitely is a correlation between parents' karma and, us, because I mean, how can you separate that really? It's kind of not what people want to think about, like that they're consenting to their children being taken away when they take other people's children away. And so I think if more people thought of that, maybe they would go vegan quicker. David D says, why did God create humans? Well, it's an when God was a noob. Why did he create humans? Well, I'm not exactly I'm sure that he had multiple reasons for doing this. He's created so many different species over time. It's kind of like, why did he create dragons? I mean, maybe he thought that they were cool. I don't really know. But I do see the pattern that I was describing before, where the snakes were obligate carnivores, and he's gotten to have more innocent creation over time. And that's what he wants. He doesn't want to have a creation that turns into monsters, that turns into literal demons. He is watching and judging us, and others are watching and judging us too. All of these other species are looking at humans and saying, they are demons. They look at what they do to the earth, look at what they do to the animals, and they judge God off of this too. So there's kind of there's a lot of judgment going on, for one. But God, I believe, has tried to make things better over time, and that's one of the reasons I say that as someone who is having their faith in humanity constantly challenged. It's extremely hard to wake up to the reality as a vegan and realize that the majority of your species, they've become demons. They have literally let demons take control of them. I've spoken before about some of these not down here. I got books everywhere. Okay. These ancient texts, these scriptures that talk about how demons can actually integrate themselves into us and live vicariously through us. So they want this flesh, they want whatever comes with it, and they come into your body, and they're the ones that are saying, oh, you're craving bacon. They're the ones, when people say, I just got to listen to my body, I need to eat meat because my body says so. It's like, you aren't even in tune with your body, honey. You are just listening to the demons that are inside. And it's not just with food, it's with, degenerate behavior, other things like sex and other corrupting and harmful behaviors that humans, we're not supposed to be doing this. Sex is like a sacred bond between a man and a woman in love, and it's designed to strengthen that bond and ultimately produce a child. If you don't want to produce a child with someone, you should not be sleeping with them. So the whole concept of going out to the bar and getting trashed and then hooking up with a girl, it's like, that is not appropriate. Even if you don't get her pregnant, sex is not just a physical act. There's emotions, there is mental, it's not just a one-dimensional physical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It's a connection on a soul level, and it shouldn't be taken lightly. So when people do abuse these behaviors, that's when the demons can really, take over, and people just can be in a slippery slope of giving into these. And then we end up with the world that we do today, where everyone's over-sexualized and homosexualized, because the pornography that they're masturbating to is two dudes sodomizing each other, and one just chopped himself up and made a manhole and has long hair, so you think it's a girl. It's like, anyways, it's a really tragic situation, and I definitely want to make sure that in the golden age, if the powers that be wanted to scrub pornography from the computer, they could literally do it. Anything, like, they are making sure that it is at every single turn so that they can lure people into darkness and corruption. So, yeah. Okay. Hi, Axler. How's it going? Demons can't prey on a pure soul. That means those they control are allowing corruption partially, if not entirely, through their vices. Well, that is I guess I do understand what you mean, that they can't like feast on them, because if you're not doing anything, evil, they don't have these doorways into your life. I definitely agree with that. But at the same time, I know that if you are a pure soul, those demons are coming after you. I, for many years now, have really clung to this idea of having a child that's wholly from the womb. And I just know that, because that is my intent, that I want a pure child and a holy child, that the powers that be are going to seek to corrupt him even more. So that's one of the reasons, besides the fact that I'm not married, that I don't have children right now, because it's not safe. I'm definitely not having anything to do with a doctor or hospitals or vaccinations, no birth certificate. Like, I'm not doing any of their stuff, let alone home, like sending them to school and feeding them flesh. Like, I'm doing a complete opposite raising of my children than the government wants, and that puts you at risk of your child getting taken away from CPS. And then you add on to the fact, like we were talking, Faith asked earlier, if parents karma's passed on. You take on the fact that you are funding children to be stolen from their parents. It's like they want your child, you're doing what consents for them to take it. That's just like, it's a ticking time bomb waiting for them to knock on your door to take your kid away. So I don't know. I kind of definitely feel bad for parents these days on many levels, all that COVID stuff with the masks and everything. But just knowing what I know about the powers that be and how much they hate you and me, it's definitely terrifying. And we need to, like, I'm not saying that we should live in fear, but I'm saying you definitely should know what they're up to, and you should be afraid for your children enough to do something about it. Like, why are we allowing these psychopaths to be in charge of us? Every time you go and vote, you consent for them to be powering over you in some manner. Even the lower level offices that people vote for, you're still voting for someone who ultimately got that position because they were consenting to the powers that be, or else they wouldn't have gotten that position to begin with. Everything's just rigged at this point. And that's one of the ways that they keep control of the human farm, right? They give you this illusion of choice, but then the two puppets that are placed in front of you are both controlled by the same puppet master. So there really is no choice. Where is the freedom? Show me, please, because this country is not a free country. It's not free for humans. It's not free for animals. I think that even the whole world is not free for animals. Let me just I just heard this yesterday, that 4% of mammals on Earth are wild. Only 4%. So they're saying, with humans being 36% and livestock being 60%. 60% of mammals on Earth are literally on death row, being abused and used. And humans want to complain about why the world is hell. It's like, bro, look in your freezer. You are the reason that this earth is hell. Okay. Anyways, David D says we are being watched and judged by many. I completely agree with that. And so it's kind of also funny when these people want to say judge not, and you won't be judged. It's like, you're going to be judged no matter what. So the whole point is, these other verses that say judge not, if you actually take them in context, it says the measurement that you judge others by, you're going to be judged by. So if you're an unrighteous judge, you're going to be unrighteously judged. You need to remove the plank from your eye, which means to judge yourself, right? You need to look at yourself and say, wow, I got a plank in my eye, I'm abusing animals. You got to remove your own issues before you can go and try to remove the speck from your brother's eye. That means judge yourself and then judge others. But you have to do the self-judging first and actually be be a good person. You have to be righteous in order to go and like to judge other people like that. So Adamastor Living Spirit, how's it going? Hi, is it possible that the creator is demented or corrupted, thus explaining why such existence is the way that it is? I do not believe that the creator is. I mean, the creator put us in a perfect Garden of Eden, but he allows free will. And ultimately, like I was saying earlier, I actually believe that he is doing what he does for Sophia. She's all physical matter. She is going through every amount of trauma and pain and suffering that we are because she's all physical matter. That's she is represented in the occult symbol of Baphomet, this entity that is male and female, animal and human, because that's what she is. She's all physical matter. She's even the rocks. But she's not, well, I mean, she technically is the invert as well, but she herself is not an invert. Anyways, she is doing all of this. She's going through all of this pain and suffering for wisdom. And, a lot of these dark occultists want to try to, um, pray to the dark mother and essentially keep her dark. They want her to be dark, and at a soul level she wants to be a golden age and not be hell. Like, why would she want to be this realm that is judged by everybody as a literal hell? Like, that's not what her desire is. But like I said, the ultimate desire is seeking wisdom. So there's a certain amount of evil that is allowed into this realm. There's a lot of evil that's not allowed in. There's actually like a cutoff point of some souls, like the Lam, I will call them, because that's what Aleister Crowley told us as far as their name goes. This soul is extremely dark and is not allowed in physically, like, because they seek to literally destroy physical matter. So Satan isn't seeking to destroy physical matter. He's just anti-human. So people, there's a difference between these entities that are judged by humans as evil, but there's definitely a broader perspective and a differing level of evil. Isn't it really weird when people try to say that God judges all sin as like sin and doesn't differentiate? It's like, so you're telling me that the little white lie that you told as a child is an equivalent sin as a pedophile, like sodomizing a child, and you want to say that God's a righteous judge in that? Because that's not right. Anyways. Axer says, guess the all-seeing and all-knowing eye is always watching, and it is said to be divine. Axar and I were actually talking earlier this morning about Freemasonry, the Lost Continent of Mu, Motherland of Man by James Churchward, actually talks about the religion that they observed on Mu, and says that the Freemasonry that we have today is fragmented from that. Like, the original humans worshipped the grand architect of this realm, and they believed in like a brotherhood of mankind. And obviously it has been corrupted and infiltrated by Satanists over time, just like every religion. Like, even original Christianity, the original teachings of Christ have been completely changed to making him into this, fish eater that, instead of promoting purification of diet like he does in the Essene text, is feeding people fish. So I think that basically all of the religions that we have is a general statement, but in general, I think that all these ancient cultures and religions had good intent and were corrupted over time. So yeah, the reason that I actually brought that up was because I think it's called the Sacred Symbols of Mu, but the Lost Continent of Mu, Island of Man, Motherland of Man, and the Sacred Symbols of Mu are both available online for free. Symbols of Mu, I think that's what it's called. I just want to make sure I'm giving you the right information here. Um, but anyways, my whole point is they go through all of these various different symbols, and they do talk about the all-seeing eye and how it was supposed to represent the all-seeing eye of God, the all-seeing eye of providence that sees everything that we do. And you can compare that, to this atheistic culture where there is no God. It's like on one hand, God sees everything, and you better be on your best behavior. And on the other hand, it's like there is no God. You're just a piece of meaningless scum on a giant spinning ball that poofed into existence by a big bang. You just happen to like crawl out of the slime pit and evolve into a human. It's like completely off and different than these ancient cultures that knew the truth of our reality. They were flat earthers. They knew that God was real. They were extremely spiritually connected. And, the original or the first humans were vegan as well. So everything really has gotten worse over time. And, um, our ancestors are portrayed as these idiot cavemen when that's the idiot cavemen are today. If you go walk around the fair, those are the idiot cavemen. They're like, oh, we rape cows for money. It's like, because you can't do anything intelligent. Is that why? So you just go and enslave cows and rape them? Because it's just like, I find zero intelligence in that, like, at all. Anyways. Master Living Spirit says, and considering the current next steps of our history to come, what is going to be the next? From now on, what's our goal, so to say? Well, my goal has been for many years now, since I woke up to it, to create a golden age, and everything that I do is to do that. So that's why I put the full moon celebrations on Mount Shasta. That's why I'm doing the chess tournaments and everything now. And yeah, so I didn't finish earlier. I was talking about the magical nature of our reality and mainly focusing on the negative. But as Adamastor is talking here, what's our goal? This reality is magical, and we can manifest whatever future that we want. Obviously, we need to be united in the future, right? Like there's only one board to be painted. So if we all don't have a united front, we all just go scribble on it. That's not going to make a pretty picture. That's really to simplify this. But ultimately, there's only one Earth. So the powers that be, even though Donald Trump and Hillary and Joe Biden all pretend to squabble amongst each other, they are still united in their goal of the New World Order. So that's the default future for humanity, because everything that humanity is doing right now is feeding into that. When you buy the flesh of innocence, you are fueling the New World Order. Every non-vegan, their daily decisions is fueling that future, because that's what they're promoting. Slavery. They're promoting being used and abused, and ultimately eaten and killed and consumed, right? So yeah, we need to, as humans, have a united goal in mind. And I've been promoting the golden age for many years. Basically, in a nutshell, it's where humans and animals are free to live and experience life. Not have to worry about putting food on the table. Mother Earth can be, we can plant all sorts of permaculture guilds everywhere so that there's just an abundance of food. If the powers that be were in charge, the resources could be used so that everyone has what they need, and we can actually, have a world where souls succeed in doing what they came here to do, because none of our souls came here to work a 9 to 5. And we need to really figure out what we did come here for and do what it takes to get there. It's really not easy to continue to fight all the time, especially when it's like, I'm fighting for a golden age for humans to be free, but they want bacon and slavery. They want to spit on me and just insult vegans when we're trying to make a better world. Why am I fighting for this? It's like, I just have to realize and remind myself that these clowns are being influenced by demons, and they're just like ignorant little children that don't know what's best for them. They're like throwing a temper tantrum for bacon when reality mama needs to give them an apple. They need to have some fruit in their lives. They need to detox those demons out, drive them out with some fruit. Like, but anyways, we could talk more about the golden age in the future, but it's basically a lot of different, it covers all these different arenas, right? Because like the schooling system needs to be changed, the medical system needs to be changed, the judicial system needs to be changed. But I do, the golden age has to have laws and rules and people in place that are honorable, that will enforce these rules, because ultimately we humans aren't the only species under the dome. And not all humans are even good-hearted people anymore at this point. They're just like letting the demons run them. And I would love if they would choose to be good, but if they can't choose to be good, I will help them be good. Marcus says, I got here after saw your transvestigation documentary on BitChute. Oh, that's awesome. Gotta say, it was really well done. Thank you. I've been, well, it's been on the back burner for a while, the FTM video. So I still need to work on that, but it's not exactly a priority right now. What's the main reason that these controllers are so focused on creating sexless humans? Do you think it's related to their religion? I'm not sure that they want sexless humans. I think that they want inverts. They want you to say screw you to God and completely leave the path that you were intended to walk by your creator. Like, I'm not saying that things are predestined, but I'm saying that God does have a plan for his creation, and it doesn't include chopping your penis off and getting fake boobs. Never, never, ever, 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 ever did the creator of this world have that plan for any soul. That was all only from Satan. It's really weird that these souls choose to follow someone who is literally making them into a clown. But guess what? I guess if you're a really high paid clown and you get to basically run the world, then some souls are okay with being clowns. I don't get it. But it's also interesting that they, have the really high suicide rate. And now when we're developing the eyes to see, celebrities, aren't making so many movies, and some of them are even, they're trying to do this whole Q psyop and fake people's deaths, and it's just an interesting way to exit stage left, if you will. But rarely do these people ever die when they tell us. I don't believe any time that they do is real. It's funnier to them if everything that they ever tell us is a lie. And I definitely don't believe that the Satanists are taking each other out or anything like that. But back to Marco's question, is it related to their religion? Ultimately, it is Satanism, and they have um, allowed themselves to be pulled into the darkness and corrupted. And I've said before, if you have like a Patrick who starts to become Patricia, then Patrick is allowing a demon named Patricia to take over his body. And I've said also before that, Patricia is feeling super excited because Patrick's dumb enough to let her live in his body, take over, and all of this stuff. So Patricia's feeling all of these feelings of excitement and um, being freed and all of this garbage. And Patrick, through that connection, is feeling the same. So the soul of Patrick is being confused by these demonic influences, specifically by, the actual inverted demon that it's summoning into itself. So it's kind of an interesting thing, but these souls, a lot of them have chosen to come into inverted families like time and time and time and time again. So it's like they've been an invert for like, as long as they can remember, and they're just so lost that they don't even know who they are anymore. It's really tragic. So Kyle says, do that taking out Maui to build a smart city. Yes, I just posted um a nice article on transvestigation disclosure or transvestigation Transpocalypse Uncensored, someone's comment with a few links to some of these smart city things that Kyle was talking about. I actually have some tabs put up here to as well because I wanted to talk about the fires that are going on. Obviously, I don't know any anyone in my circle of people that actually believes that it is a real wildfire. They're basically like all of the majority of the buildings from what I've seen that have been destroyed are like all residential and um they're saying, I think the last toll that I heard was 93 is how many they're claiming have died. Obviously, really tragic. I don't believe that number. Um, Even the link that I have here, I can post it to you. They're saying this is the worst, deadliest in modern US history, this fire. But the article says they're still going through and marking houses, so they're going to be other, bodies and stuff that are discovered, which is definitely really, really tragic that they are burning people out of their house and home. Obviously, they've been doing this. They do it every year here in California. I've been in an evacuation zone 2 years in a row. But I mean, these people are on an island, and there's like nowhere to go except for the ocean, right? But I also read that there was hurricane weather as well going on. So it's like you have the fires over here and a hurricane over here. Where are the humans going to go? And obviously, if you don't know, they can modify weather. They can literally seed storms. They can create a hurricane. So it's like it's just ultimately an attack on humans. And there's been some discussion about these people basically going in and buying up the whole island and like for pennies on the dollar, like really just taking advantage of this tragic situation that ultimately they created. That's what they do. They're also saying, I believe that they were saying that the roads and stuff, a lot of them have been, or government blocked roads leading there, preventing aid from getting to the area. I think it was the New Orleans. I don't even how do you properly pronounce that. It was like when I was in high school and there was this huge flood down there, and they also said that the government would block off the roads, and then they're like they they blocked off everybody's help, and then they come in like, oh, we're the big heroes. So it's like they block off anyone else from helping so that they are set up as the ones that come in and fix the problem that they just created. Very frustrating, but part of the problem reaction solution type mo that they're going for. So definitely we need to keep these people in our thoughts and prayers as they're going through this tragic time. And when things get worse, we need to remind ourselves that, we did come into this reality for a reason. It's kind of, when I first woke up, I was like mainstream Christian type, whatever. And I'm thinking about, all this stuff that's going to happen during the tribulation, this end times scenario. And it's like, can be terrifying, but it can also be like really exciting because if you like watch apocalyptic movies on TV, is like they have these inspirational heroes that do like really awesome things, and like that's what we came here for. We came here to survive these things and to build a better world ultimately. So hopefully you are with me in that and wanting to create a golden age so that we can, take advantage of the free energy technology and really build a world that humans can be proud of and that builds humans up instead of crushing us down and deliberately dumbing us down. One of the things I want to implement is like teaching children chess all over, just as standard, not only because it's super fun, but it's also makes them more intelligent. It increases intelligence. It helps with like problem solving and forethought, thinking ahead. You have to think multiple moves ahead. It helps with even predict like predicting other people's moves even. And how, like, I mean, what comes to mind is I used to be a waitress for a while, and I could just, predict what people wanted before they would even ask me. So I think that is a valuable tool as well in general, to have all of these things. So I definitely want to make humans the complete opposite of what we are now, and something that makes our creator proud instead of ashamed. If you were a human's creator right now looking down at humanity, how would you feel? I don't know about you, but even before I went vegan, I was like, I don't know how God is resisting wiping humanity out for the abortions, for the sexual degeneracy. It's like, wow, he definitely has some patience. Obviously, I've grown since then in that I understand that he is allowing this stuff, because the mother is seeking wisdom. It's not that he wants it to happen. It's not that he couldn't stop it, but he ultimately is doing what he does for her. So I really love that, love relationship between them, and um, want it to stay in a loving way, and for Sophia not to get too dark and stop existing. And so hopefully you're with me with that. Aspect 761 says, hello, my queen. How are you doing? Boo Dean says, seems to be a vehicle to transhumanist rights. Yeah, a lot of these things are leading up to their new world order and transhumanism, and basically getting away from God's design. And they talk about, the mark of the beast in your hand or your forehead. It's really weird that they try to say that the vaccine, that the jab is, I don't even want to say these stupid words because you get in trouble. Like, they'll take my stupid channel down for talking about this. Don't worry. If you want to know how I feel about jabs, you can go on Facebook and I'll happily tell you. But I can't risk getting my channel shut down for medical misinformation, for disagreeing with what the doctors say. So, anyways, Aspect 761 says, what do you think of the Pennsylvania explosion? Is that the one that happened a while back, or did something new happen? I don't really watch the news, so 1 hour ago. Okay, here we go. One dead, several unaccounted for after Pennsylvania house explosion destroys 3 homes and damages at least a dozen more. That's really. Are they saying what caused the explosion? I obviously haven't heard about this, so this is this is new news to me. That's really weird. Well, I mean, it's not really weird. They do things all the time like this, but anyways. I'll load up a tab and see if I can see anything. But I haven't looked into this at all because I'm just hearing about it. So, chess helps with logical thinking. Agree completely. Liam says, good evening, Queen from the UK. Hey, how's it going? That stream yesterday was great. Loved the stock cars. I really had a blast at the Demolition Derby as well. And yeah, kind of made me feel like a little bit of a country hick almost, that we're like sitting here watching cars just smash into each other, and like people in the UK are like sipping tea and stuff, and they don't do these kinds of behaviors. But I'm definitely I'm voting for more demolition derbies in the future. I don't really care if it's the classy thing to do. Um was it a gas leak as far as the house explosion goes? I'm not sure if it's the incident appeared to begin when one house exploded, engulfing 2 neighborhood houses in flames. Um, it's unclear what triggered the explosions. Authorities say the cause is still under investigation. Oh, yes, I'm sure you guys are totally stumped. Gas systems were operating as designed at the time of the explosion, said a president of the gas service, People's Natural Gas. Still, gas service was shut off to a number of homes in the neighborhood as a precaution. So, yeah, I don't know. Probably just more deliberate issues to cause the chaos that they're looking to cause, I guess. Marcos says having passports and birth certificates is the mark of the beast. What is coming with the digital IDs and all of that is just an enhancement of the control system for AI's sake. Okay. Well, I guess most people associate the mark of the beast being with this transhuman agenda, basically. And even mainstream Christians, I think that a lot of them say that once you do that, once you take it, you can't, like, your salvation is out the window, basically. Which I would not consider a passport or a birth certificate being that. Um, but I definitely am against them and don't want either one of these to be a necessity in the future. I kind of like the idea that people keep their birth records like in a Bible or something like that, to have like a family type record like that. But I don't really believe in having. I think that the whole world is meant for like humans to exist. So if I want to go to a different country, like these whole systems that we have now, I think that they need to be changed to promote freedom rather than, this separating mentality and my country's better than yours and all of this stuff. So yeah. Liam says, LOL, we get wild too in the UK and drink tea. I have been drinking hot tea since I was maybe like late elementary school, early middle school. So I definitely resonate with that. I love some hot tea, even though that's cold now. So anyways, kind of mainly wanted to talk about what I've already talked about, and the magical nature of our reality, both the good and the bad. And going still off of that, like I said, this world is what we create it to be and manifest it to be. So hopefully you are manifesting with me. Martin says Lee Chess banned U.S. Chess Federation coverage. I saw a little bit of drama about that, although I am not 100% sure. I think I read that it had to do with some sexual, like sexually deviant allegations. People were being accused of sexual misconduct, and I guess the U.S. Federation or whatever, Lichess doesn't want anything to do with that. They want to be cut off from people that are being allowed to do that. So that's, I guess, my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. Cow says, missed the last 10 minutes, had to get some food. What'd you get? Oh, that's exactly what Liam said. What are you eating, Kyle? It's not the day of your craveable trailer that you post. So I'm interested to see. Usually Kyle is a watermelon man and constantly eating watermelon. So yes. Martin says it probably connected to donors' political stance. Okay. I'm actually just gonna look into Lee Chess Federation. Drama. Shouldn't it be? Thought it was like world news, and it's not even coming up here. Anyways, oh, here we go. Lee Chess will no longer cooperate with U.S. Chess Federation. Come on. Lee Chess will no longer cooperate with U.S. Chess Federation St. Louis Chess Club. In a lengthy blog post today, the open source internet chess server Lichess announced they will formally end all cooperation with both the U.S. Chess Federation and St. Louis University Chess Club, citing two high-profile sexual misconduct cases involving grandmasters Alejandro Ramirez and Timur. I don't even know how you say this person's name. But anyways, the brief summary says, in February, chess commentator and author publicly accused Grandmaster of sexual misconduct. Her allegations sparked a swift and severe backlash against Ramirez, who was forced to resign from the St. Louis Chess Club before being permanently banned by the U.S. Chess Federation. The allegations also exposed apparent failures at U.S. chess. Wait, so these are allegations. Do they actually have evidence? I'm just I'm curious because you could just go make an allegation about someone and then they get completely screwed over and you didn't have any actual evidence. I mean, is Alejandro Ramirez even a biological male? Like, I mean, what sexual misconduct did this clown even like? I don't know. Anyways, Lichess has decided to stop cooperating with both organizations due to serious concerns about their accountability. All right. 8 women accused chess grandmaster Ramirez of sexual misconduct. Interesting. We'll have to do a little bit more digging into this situation and see what I can find. I like I said, want to transvestigate Ramirez to see if it's even a real male to begin with. So, ooh, Kyle says hummus and pita chips. Yum. Liam says watermelon is the best hangover cure. Good to know. I usually don't have hangovers because I don't drink that much, but that I guess it makes a lot of sense because it's very hydrating, and hangover is very dehydrated. Kyle said got some honeydew too. Yum. Yes, and we were talking about the Jews, yeah, for just a second there. I think I already posted the link earlier. Anyways, Kyle sounds good. Now I'm hungry. Me too. Martin says he is Colombia now, no proof and no legal action taken. Oh wow, okay. So they just accused him and didn't provide in proof, and now they've been ousted by these clubs. That's crazy. Well, it's not like crazy, but obviously if they did do these things, they should be in trouble, not just a slap on the wrist getting kicked out of the chess club. Like, wow, you raped someone. Like, no more chess for you in that club, buddy. You could play chess anywhere else that you want, just not in the club. Anyways, I'll look more into that, Martin. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. But anyways, I am probably going to cut this video off. I got some other things to do today on top of having to go and figure out what's wrong with my car. So hopefully all will go well with that. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. May God and the goddess bless you. Oh, and thank you for coming and chatting with me. I do really appreciate these live streams and getting to connect with you guys. It's really awesome that we have this technology that can connect people all over the world. So again, thank you for coming, and I will see you next week.